So there has been, the streets have been talking, right?
Yeah.
The streets have been talking about who's a guzzler, who's a gobbler.
Okay. Can you define the difference for me?
A guzzler is liquids. Gobblers are solids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Understood.
So you've been talking a lot of trash.
Yeah. About what?
About how much of a gobbler you are.
Oh.
You've been talking some trash.
That's true. Okay, so to give some context to this, our friend comes up and we were like talking at dinner, and he's like, "Do you think you can eat a Costco glizzy in under 30 seconds?" And I think that's free.
You said you could do it in 10.
Okay, 10's an extreme. 10's extreme. I will say 10 is extreme.
What do you think you could do it in?
I think under 30 for sure. Let me visualize this, okay? Let me just like conjure up the image of a hot dog in my brain. Costco hot dogs how long are they? They're like a foot long, right?
Maybe it's probably less.
Oh, I think like 20.
Bro, there's no way you can do 20.
Yeah, I think I can do 20.
You can do 20?
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, let's put it to the test.
Okay, so this is why you needed to go to the grocery store. Oh my God.
I got you a Costco hot dog.
Okay. And you have a timer?
I got one for myself.
Okay.
And we're going to see who's the true gobbler here.
Dude, this thing is big.
Let me
Wait, did you eat already or no?
No.
Fuck, I'm on the back foot here. I just ate a smoothie.
It's fine. It's fine.
Let me. Do we get a drink?
You can get a drink. You can get a drink.
You want a drink?
I have one.
Okay. I'll get a drink. You set it up.
Yeah. All right, I got my timer ready. This guy has been talking a lot of trash. I've never had a Costco hot dog in my life. This is vanilla. This is dry hot dog, no condiments, nothing. Just as Nathan's hot dogs.
Okay, so what do you think you can do it? You think you can do 30 seconds?
I think I could beat you.
Oh, okay. So you also because the original context of this was that could we do it in under 30?
I am not confident. I think you're overconfident.
Okay.
So
30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not confident in my ability to eat a hot dog.
Dude, this is tough. I'm so full right now.
I think you've been talking a lot of trash.
All right.
And you put your money where your mouth is. All right. 3, 2, 1. No way. There's no way he's getting there. There's no way he's getting there. There's absolutely no way. It's cooked. It's so cooked for him. Does lubrication help? I feel like it doesn't help. It helps? Fire? Okay, hitting the CZ. He's hitting the CZ. The 1-2 punch. We're at 35 seconds. I mean, getting under a minute already is impressive. I didn't think he was going to get there. Okay. Good? 106. We got 106.
That was dry. That was dry.
Holy
bro.
shit. 106.
Okay, one thing I will say, liquid helps so goddamn much. It was like night and day. I tried it raw, right?
I didn't think I was gonna need it.
Raw, I was like, my mouth became the Sahara Desert.
Oh man,
I got clogged up. It was like divine intervention. You know the 9 plagues? That was all happening in my mouth simultaneously.
Oh my god.
You need a drink.
Locust?
I think if I got a drink, I think I could have done some 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I knew that it would help that much,
yeah,
I think I could do sub 1 minute. All right, it's your turn.
All right. I gotta take out the power limiter on this thing. Oh, dude, there's ice cubes in here. I fucked up. All right, I've never had a Costco hot dog before.
Oh, wow, that was dry though.
Is it dry? Do we need like toppings on this thing?
I think their bread's too good. You know what
it's
I mean?
Too bready?
Because yeah, like you know the really shitty like dogs that you get at like I don't know, your Ralph's or whatever.
Yeah.
They're way thinner. So in my head,
oh, it's thick. These are thick boys.
They're thick boys. Okay. Anyways, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. helps, right? The face is, dude, you got a big mouth. What the fuck? Wait, you're gonna crush me on this one. Okay. Okay. You're leaving a little bit at the ends. Dude, the liquid helps so much. And like not like I'm not gonna lie to you, so much.
Done.
Okay, just over a minute. Just over a minute.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, but I smoked your ass.
Okay, but I also clued you on the way because
That's true.
To be fair,
That's true. Hot tech.
yeah. Without something to drink, I felt like it was actually impossible.
Oh man, that was tough.
That was tough.
That was tough.
I think the Costco bread is too good.
Oh man. Oh man. I don't think I'm ever eating a hot dog again.
You don't like that?
I hated that. I did not enjoy myself. I hated that.
I love a good glizzy.
Oh man. No condiments or anything was tough for me.
That is actually tough. Yeah, I had just gotten done eating, so I was
man.
I was not ready for that today.
Between you and me, I'm the throat goat.
We need a recount. Recount.
Recount. All right,
This time, Coke Zero in hand.
True. Okay. You run it back?
Yeah. Oh, imagine.
Oh, imagine I had more.
What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about just a little bit of a meta snapshot of what's going on. Nats is coming up. Nats Wave 1 is coming up in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
And people are asking, the streets are talking, what deck do I bring to Nationals? Am I bringing Bonnie? Am I bringing GP, Blackbeard, UP, Rayleigh, Green Zoro?
Yeah,
Pudding?
hopefully not that one.
The streets are talking.
Yeah.
And we have answers.
I think the meta is moving fast.
It's moving fast. It's moving faster than I thought it could ever move.
It's like wildfire out there.
It's like F1.
It's like the 2024 fires that happened on the 405. It was just uncontainable. Wait, was that this year? That was last year, right?
This year's like the Palisades.
Palisades,
Yeah.
yeah. But there was a fire last year?
There's a fire every year. There's a fire every year.
But it's crazy because we had thoughts about the meta. We talked about it in our last tier list video, and yet coming into Nats, I feel like so much has changed.
So much has changed. I think the week where OP13 has dropped, Shanks was really popular. Stocks were so high. Shortly after that, Bonnie stocks increasing. Green Zoro increasing. Now, Rayleigh, UP stocks to the moon.
To the moon, yeah. It was just like all it took was that one weekend where the UPs they came out, right? And I know you and I kind of have been talking about how strong UP has felt, yada yada, and it was kind of vindicating when all the top players were on UP.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
and I think we all smelt the waters, right? There was blood there, and all the sharks came in swimming. But now that the sharks have feasted, I feel like now that everybody has realized what's up, and now we're getting sharks from all over the oceans, right?
Yeah.
All 7 oceans, everyone knows about it. They're all coming swimming over.
Or, conversely, maybe it wasn't blood. There wasn't blood in the water ever. Maybe it was just red 40.
Red Fort.
Yeah,
The color dye.
Yeah, and we just didn't know. We were eating nothing at all. We just smelt something, and turns out it's just whatever goes in your Red Bull.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we're going to talk about all the decks that we think are strong, that are well positioned for Nats specifically. And I think Nationals is always going to be a different sort of beast than your standard regional, right? Because I think a lot of people come into regionals with many different mindsets of like, oh, I just want to, see how well I can do with this deck and see if I can top 64, top 32, whatever. But I think really Nats is where people really buckle down, get strapped down, and they think about, how am I going to win this dang thing and go to Worlds, right?
Yeah.
And so I think more of this meta is going to be much more about who can get a step ahead of the meta and bring in the best 50 for this competitive meta.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that sort of mentality warps the meta in on itself, like folded steel and a katana, right? And on itself, and people are going to be Yomi layering their way up.
Yeah, like a millet crepe.
Yeah, it's Malay, right?
There's
like a
T in
fillet.
there. There's fillet.
I'm pretty sure it's fillet. Mignon.
I like a mignon. I like a mignon.
But yeah, so I think this episode we're going to mainly talk about that, talk about our findings. We've been deep in the research. I think this is definitely the most amount of One Piece I've played in quite a long time. This is the most I've thought about deck construction as well in a long time. Like, I'm normally the type of person, as I've always said it, I'm always just kind of researching and seeing what everyone else is doing. But this time around, it was my turn to get in the lab and start monkeying around, right? So, yeah, that's going to be our topic for this week. Do we have a comment of the week?
Oh, man. I did not prepare a comment of the... We should actually do 2 comments of the week.
Yeah,
because we
had
missed
2...
We missed 1 week, yeah.
Okay, so we owe you guys 2 comments of the week
Yep.
because we didn't do one last week. So this is the one from Green Meta is Here video where we talked about the post-ban meta, how much things have changed. But Garrulous Gambit asks, do you guys like a jungle meta? I'm more into a tier 0 or narrow meta because it is easier to be competitive in those metas. With this jungle meta, your first 3 rounds could be anything, which can end your run early. And very funny enough is the reply to it is, that's the fun.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are into that.
It's interesting, too, because typically I do prefer a more narrow meta because it gives me more clear and concise answers on what cards I need to play in my deck, what the tech spots need to be, and how well my deck is positioned when I bring it to a regional or a national event. However, this time around, the meta is quite a bit wider, like you said. We are Dora the Explorer. We are cutting the weeds. We are Jungle Jumanji. And I'm Jack Black. I just don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what the best 50 are. I'm stuck in the Genjutsu. I don't know. I'm having a tough time. But does that necessarily mean that it's a bad thing? I don't think so. I think maybe these jungle metas promote deck builders more than ever. People who are really good at finding, this is the list that's good into everything, or I'm hedging my bets and this is a list that's good against 70% of decks, and I'm going to have a positive win rate, make day 2 with this particular list and have a great run. I think those particular qualities in a player are highlighted in a jungle meta. So I would say I personally prefer more narrow metas because I'm not a good deck builder myself. I kind of just net deck something and just run it. But I think it's a good thing.
Okay, yeah. To my answer to that question, I'm with you. I think most more competitively minded players would prefer that just because in One Piece specifically, there's a lot of polarized matchups,
Sure.
right? And it sucks if you're a competitive player, you do all this research, you've got a deck that's really good into the meta, you've got your 50, and yeah, round 1, round 2, you just happen to hit your worst matchup and your run's over. That being said, that's also just kind of part of the game, and that is just something that happens. Now, I think for me, narrow meta is better when that narrow meta is thriving and fun, right? I think if it's the same sort of polarized matchups that's also narrow, I think that's a miserable meta.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
People talk about rock, paper, scissors, but I really dislike it when rock always beats scissors, right? If it was up to me and if I could somehow handcraft a meta, it'd be if you're favored, you're 65, maybe 60-40 favored at most, right? And there are avenues and tech cards that allow you to sort of make these matchups less polarized and give you a lot more play. That's when something becomes much more fun from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah, if we're gonna bring scissors, I want to be able to sharpen my scissors, or I want to be able to bring scissors with a more blunt edge, or I want to bring scissors, the squiggly scissors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you bring in rock, sometimes you want to bring a really hard rock, or you want to bring something quite porous, something where you can soak it in water. Loses the scissors, but man, sometimes it beats paper, man.
Mm-hmm. And coming from like a Smash Brothers like competitive thing, one of the ways I compare it is like Melee and Ultimate, where Melee like Fox Falco matchup, like if that was the only matchup in the game, I think people would still love playing Melee because of how deep that competitive matchup is, right?
It's pretty sick.
There's just like so many layers to it that you can always like keep digging. Whereas Ultimate is like much more about breadth. Like you need to know what everyone's bullshit that they bring to the table is.
100%. Like what is min? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, like have you played against that? Do you know your game plan into that?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't? Sorry, you got knowledge checked.
Oh, Pokemon Trainer? That's 3 characters.
Pyramithra, that's 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
all
like,
these characters.
what is this?
Joker when he transforms.
Yeah.
So
Marth and Lucina, are they the same character?
they're not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
So
I thought this was a gender bend.
So I think in those cases it's like the way I've heard it put is like competitive breadth versus competitive depth, and
Yeah.
I'm much more of a depth guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on the topic.
All right. Well, moving on. I've got a comment from the JCM episode. This is from BFC 10200, and he said, the Japanese word for beard is the same as the word for mustache. So Whitebeard's name makes sense in Japanese.
Oh yeah, Shirohige.
That just does make sense, huh?
Yeah,
So
I guess
so
they couldn't-
hige is just facial
hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like, do you think English is unique in that sense, where we have a word for facial hair here and then facial hair here?
And then we also have different words for when facial hair is just here.
Oh yeah.
Just here.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Just here?
yeah. Like we get creative with it, huh?
Yeah. Do you think that's a Western thing? What is it in Korean? Is it the same? Beard and mustache?
Mustache, beard. What is beard in Korean? Hold on. I think it is just facial hair.
Dude, I think in Chinese it's the same. It's just facial hair.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I will say Whitebeard sounds way better than white facial hair. So, yeah, I think we ended up good there.
You can say WB for Whitebeard, or you can say WFH, white facial hair.
That's so bad.
Yeah. It's so many syllables.
Yeah,
Those of you guys who know Spanish or French or Russian or Pig Latin, let us know if mustache and beard are differentiated. I wonder if it's like an Eastern versus Western differentiation.
Yeah, maybe also make Koreans just not good enough to know. Like, I don't know what Korean for mutton chops are or Fu Manchu, or goatee. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe those have words in Korean and I just don't know about that. Yeah,
probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, it is funny because like probably not. Maybe if I'm thinking about it from a socioeconomic standpoint, like we Asian people don't really grow facial hair like that, so we're less like
maybe that's the case. Yeah, like we just don't have very much of it. So we lump them all together.
Yeah, we're just like, yeah, you got hair on your face, man.
Yeah, but the Anglo-Saxons are very proficient in follicle growth
on their face, specifically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, good to know. Yeah, but it also makes sense that they're Whitebeard and Blackbeard in English because that's like the folklore names of pirates, right? Like Bluebeard, Whitebeard.
It just like ruins my immersion a little bit.
Yeah.
It's Whitebeard. That chin is barren. La 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 la.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
Yeah, come on, bro.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's move into the heart of the episode here.
Yeah, the meat and the potatoes.
I think going in, we know we've always talked about what the top 5 decks are. We've said Rayleigh, Zoro, Bonnie, UP, GP. These are like the 5 arbiters of the current meta. And I think before we sort of lean towards like Bonnie and Zoro being sort of like the main 2 guys on the block.
Yeah.
And I think
the captain and the vice captain.
Yeah, but I think things have changed so much, and I really think now UP has spread like crazy. It's coronavirus level of I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's addictive to play. The feelings of power you have when you hold up 7 Dawn and 30k counter in hand.
There's no other deck where you can stabilize, have 30k counter in hand, and only play 4 2Ks in the whole deck. Like, there's just no deck like that. Tanky decks are like, yeah, I play 18 2Ks. Not me.
Not me.
Not
4.
me. Yeah, I play 4 to 6.
Like, truly, no. There's not. I don't think there's any deck. Even Whitebeard himself. Speaking of which, can't take just like repeated hits of 16Ks and live. Like, yeah, you might live once, but can you do that 2-3 turns in a row? Like, that's the power of UP.
Yeah.
That's the shit that gets me going on that deck. I think ever since the Toronto and Kissimmee, Florida regionals, I have only seeing UPs everywhere now.
Yeah.
Not just in locals, but store regionals are happening right now.
Yep.
Every person I see who has posted store regional, they've played a UP Luffy somewhere in their bracket. There was a UP, so people are really starting to zone in on that, and I think because of that changes things. It completely warps the meta downwards, right? So I think UP now, boom, number 1 deck in the meta. That is my personal opinion. I don't think it's the number 1 deck by far, but to me, it feels like this is the deck to beat now.
Yeah, so we can deep dive a little bit into what we think is the best deck to bring to Nats. Which decks are the best positioned when it comes to the meta, especially in an offline event with strictly top players, right? You have to earn an invitation to compete at Nats. So every player is competitive. There are going to be very, very few players who have qualified for nationals that decided, today, I'm going to Water 7, baby. Those guys just don't exist. They don't exist over here in this ecosystem. But before that, I kind of wanted to talk about what you briefly just mentioned, the Toronto and the Kissimmee Regional, which you just came back from. I want to talk about deck representation a little bit there and how it's evolved into this week, because it's only been 2 weeks apart. Toronto happened last weekend, right? And during that weekend, the first wave of store regionals have come out. This weekend, there's another wave of store regionals. Then this following weekend, there's going to be nationals, and then there's going to be more store champs after that. So I want to see or kind of talk about the timeline, how things have evolved and what to expect in the coming next few weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back in time. Let's take a very small time machine.
Yeah. Speaking of time, we rewind the clock. You're in Toronto.
I'm in Toronto. Ooh, I'm bringing UP. That no one else will be playing this deck.
Yeah. You have UP in one hand, you got Poutine in the other. But the question I want to ask you is, how was the time there? Was it slow? Was it fast?
This time was slow.
It was slower, right?
Yeah.
So I think we were right.
Yeah. I think we said time goes faster, right?
It goes faster?
No, slower,
it goes slower because you have to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing this.
They have to wiggle to stay. To stay in the same timeline. Yeah. Time moves slower.
Stoichiometry, dude. Science is so crazy.
Science is crazy. Yeah, they're onto stuff. Those scientists.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we go back. People are playing Shanks. People really like the
lot of Shanks
deck
in Toronto.
I would say if I had to pick out like what were the most popular decks in specifically Toronto, it was actually Rayleigh. Rayleigh was the number 1 deck by far, I think. I played in that weekend alone. So in the main event, I only played 3 rounds because I X2'd by 3rd round. I was like, okay, I'm done. And so then I played side events. So day 1 in just 7 games, I think I played 4 or 5 Rayleighs. So that's a lot. So Then day 2 comes around. I do like another couple of sets of side events. I play into another 4 or 5 Rayleigh. So in that weekend, over half my games were against Rayleigh, and I'm just scoping around too, the tournament, and I just see Rayleighs everywhere. So Rayleighs were very, very dominant in that room, but I'm not sure how good necessarily the conversion rate was.
Sure,
into
yeah.
it.
That's always the question with red decks, right? Is how good is the conversion rate? Like these decks are inherently very powerful because the card quality is really high, but how consistent can these decks actually be? And when a deck like Rayleigh rolls around, where you're searching your whole deck, you have 4 searchers, everything is searchable. That deck suddenly becomes quite strong, right? But I think that the Rayleigh representation while you were in Toronto did not. I didn't experience the same representation over here in the West. I hit 3 store regionals that weekend, the weekend that you were in Toronto. And the very first one I went to, I'm trying to think. The first one I went to was actually pretty UP heavy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Already by that point.
It wasn't super UP heavy, but I didn't think there were going to be more than me or like plus 1 person. But out of like 4 rounds, I saw 2 UPs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't expect to see the mirror match. I'm not teched for it, so I lost those. So
Yeah.
I scrubbed out the first store champs. And I thought to myself, I was sitting there. I was in the Shadow Realm. I was in the Genjutsu, the domain expansion of UP. I was thinking to myself, man, Xell and I were talking about how we're ahead of the curve on UP. People aren't expecting what we're going to bring, and we should just have a lot of success here. I think I shouldn't be results oriented. I queued into 2 UPs today, but it shouldn't be the case moving forward. So I decided I'm going to play a list that I know has worked for me. Still not good into UP, but still works. And so I went to the next store championship the following day. So I went there and I played into a GP UI Nami.
That's 2 unique matchups.
Yeah. What else was there? There was Bonnie, and I can't remember what the last one was. But I ended up finishing like 3rd or 4th in that one. So I just bubbled out of an invitation on that one. But better showing than the first one there. So I was like, okay, I think I'm onto something. Not that many UPs here, maybe like 1 or 2. Then I went to another one the following day. And that one I ended up winning. But my run was super fortunate. I ran into Shanks round 1.
Awesome.
Enel round 2.
Awesome.
Shanks round 3.
Awesome.
Shanks.
3
round 4.
Shanks.
3 Shanks.
Oh my goodness.
And then a UP, and then a Rayleigh in the finals.
Okay.
So my deck was very prepared for this, and I ended up winning the entire thing, secured my invite, secured my Beckman, and I can take a, well-deserved break here. But recently I've been playing, right? So this was last weekend, and there weren't that many UPs already. I think there was a lot of Shanks and a lot of Bonnie still. Moving into this weekend, I'm seeing a lot of Bonnie, a lot of UP, and more Rayleigh than I had expected to see. So, and Green Zoro has suddenly fallen off of popularity, at least from my own POV, my anecdotal evidence. I feel like it's been falling off a little bit. Maybe the top players are really frustrated with how the deck operates. Maybe it's not consistent enough for their liking. They like to play decks like UP, like Rayleigh a little bit more, or decks that have a bit more control over the macro gameplay like Bonnie. But I don't know. I feel like lately I've been seeing more Rayleigh, more UP, Bonnie after that, and then Zoro after that.
So quickly, before we jump too far ahead here in the timeline, I have the data. Egman has the data for both Toronto and Kissimee, the full thing.
Talk to me.
The full room. So actually, I was wrong. Rayleigh was actually the 2nd most popular deck in the room.
Okay.
Number 1 was Zoro at 127. Rayleigh close behind at 100 and then Bonnie 77. Guess how many UP Luffys there were that day?
Not that many.
If you would gander.
How many Bonnies?
77.
40.
Exactly 40.
Yeah.
Exactly 40. So It was the first 1, 2, 3,
Wait,
4,
I'm kind
5,
of
6.
Nostradamus, huh?
It was the 7th most popular deck. Okay, now when you look at the conversion rates now,
Yeah.
UP
is
was
high.
insane.
Yeah.
7 in the top 32. So 7 out of those 40 made it to top 32. Out of the 127 Zoros, only 6 made it through, which that conversion rate doesn't seem nearly as good. Bonnie, 6 out of 77, much better than Zoros. And only 3 of 103 Rayleighs made it to top 32.
That's pretty surprising because out of those decks, Rayleigh and UP to me are the most consistent. They're the decks that see the most cards at like any given point in time. So I feel like those decks should have the highest conversion rates, but it didn't seem to be the case for Rayleigh.
Yeah, it's interesting. So let's move forward now to the same weekend. So let's look at the Kissimee Regionals data. The leader breakdown is 134 Zoros, so similar amount of
So
Zoros.
still Zoro highest.
Then Rayleigh at 120. Then
That's
Bonnie
close.
at 98. And then Monkey D. Luffy, 44.
Okay, so about the same. So that
Yeah.
same weekend, I think the stats show that Zoro is the most popular. Rayleigh after that, Bonnie after that. So
Yes.
I would say,
Those are the top 3.
yeah,
Boom.
those are the top 3 in popularity. But the following week, after everybody saw the results and how well UP was doing, now the UP train is in full force. The Mugen train has
Full
been
force.
moving.
To talk about the conversion rates again here, Bonnie, 10 out of the 98 made it to top cut. 8 of the UP Luffy. So 10 out of the 98. So that's like a 1 in 10. And for Luffy, 8 out of 44. That is
That's
probably
absurd.
one of the highest conversion rates I've ever seen. So, and then Zoro at 4 out of the 134 and only 4 for Rayleigh again. So very low conversion rate. So to talk in context there, like it's clear to me that Bonnie and UP are really overperforming in that meta.
Yes.
So in that meta, UP Luffy and Bonnie had a great showing. Zoro, I think, had a very average run. I wouldn't put it as bad necessarily, but you're the most popular deck, but you're still not like the most popular in Top Cut. Tells me I'm a little iffy there, right?
Sure.
But Rayleigh really underperformed, I think. And I have some theories on that. Like maybe, like you were saying, maybe it's like inconsistency. Like if you play Rayleigh, you are very well, you know that sometimes you just like don't find your Luffy's and you're just behind the whole game and you're an aggro deck. So when you get a hiccup like that, suddenly your pressure starts to feel really bad and you lose control of the game, right? But also that deck is functionally very hard to play as well. Like, it is one of those decks akin to, I think, like Red Green Law, where you're searching so much that you actually have so much data to keep track of in every single game that you play. You should know your deck ratios and what cards you've seen so that you know what the possibilities for the next ones are, right? Because like you don't want to do the thing. It's also something that happens with Classic Zoro a lot, which is my hand is full of Straw Hat and not events. Do I search with Nami first? Do I search with Buggy first?
You
right?
search with Buggy
you
first.
search with Buggy first. You Buggy. You next one. You see a lot of events, and then you should keep track of like what Straw Hat stuff you see, so that way when you search again, you have to make that decision again. Is it better to search with Nami here, or is it better to search with, I don't know, Dadan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of like micro decisions that like over the course of 10 rounds are going to win you and lose you games, right? And those sort of micro decisions are hard to catch when you're playing the deck, right? It's just something that you have to keep in your mental stack at all times, and that's very difficult over 10 rounds, on top of just being an aggro deck, which means, dude, you have to figure out the right swings to pressure your opponent the right way. There's just a lot to keep track of. So maybe that's the reason. That's my guess to why maybe their conversion rate. Because on paper, I feel like Rayleigh is so well positioned right now.
I think so too. I think you're right that Rayleigh is a really high skill ceiling deck. It's quite difficult to pilot well, but as we've seen from the top players recently, the deck is good. The deck is very good. It's consistent. It runs well. You just have to be able to tame the beast, right? It's like Ash's Charizard. It won't listen to you if you're not that good of a trainer.
Yeah,
You
true.
know?
You have to earn your badges.
Yeah, totally. So I think as time goes on, Rayleigh gets stronger. It becomes a deck that's more it's like not less well positioned in the meta, but it becomes more represented. You're going to end up seeing a higher conversion rate as people learn how to play this deck, what the ins and outs are, what the lines are, compared to decks like Zoro, which I think are really strong in the beginning because they're quite linear, the lines. But as time goes on and people start getting better at that matchup, UP start teching for it. They understand the lines. Rayleigh starts doing really well into that deck. That deck becomes a lot less appealing to bring to a tournament like Nationals.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, it's so weird looking back at this snapshot because, again, things have changed. Where have we come to now is the question, because I think there were kind of questions in the back of my head with the old meta of like, everyone says Bonnie and Rayleigh into Bonnie, bad matchup, right? But how bad is it? Zoro into Bonnie, how bad is it, right? Like, and I think now we have like clearer answers to these questions. Like, turns out Rayleigh into Bonnie, if you win die roll, maybe not as bad, right?
Not that bad.
Very winnable. Rayleigh into Zoro, same thing. Like Zoro, if you're tucked for Rayleigh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Zoro into Bonnie. So like it's kind of a pick your poison sort of thing. Like and I think people are starting to really understand things more. But man, the re-entry of UP into the meta has shaken things up quite a bit, and I think now people are wondering questions about UP, like UP versus Rayleigh. I think originally people thought Rayleigh just stomps UP or Zoro stomps UP. I don't know if that's necessarily the case either. So I think there's a lot of questions at hand, and whoever solves these questions first is going to do really well at Nats.
Yeah, man, it's tough. The landscape has definitely shifted. Pangea is looking quite different. The continents are splitting, and we don't really know what to expect here anymore. So we're gonna have to answer the question: what is the best deck to bring to Nationals?
Yeah, it's so hard. Obviously I'm doing my own prep for Nats, and so this is a question I've been asking myself constantly, dude. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or it was just to you personally, but I was like, dude, I feel like I've been playing so much One Piece lately, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like I think back to when I was doing the Treasure Cup that I got the uncut sheet from. Like I played very little One Piece. I didn't think about One Piece very much at all during that time. Now I am grinding in my brain to dust, and like by the time this comes out, we're like almost flying out to Dallas. Like,
Yeah,
there
2
is not
days,
a lot
yeah.
of time left, and I'm still sitting here like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to bring. I don't know. Is UP the way?
Yeah, so I think for me personally, I don't have that much time to prep or practice. So I think I've put all of my eggs in one basket. I put all my eggs in the blue-purple basket, right? If this was Easter Sunday, you look at my basket, it's blue. It's majority purple, but some of it is blue. There's no other colors in there. There's no green at all. I hate green. Get it out of here. Yuck. No red 40. Get it out of here. Yellow, get it out of here. Just blue and just purple. So I just at this point now need to decide what is the 50 that I need to bring to Nationals that will give me the best shot at making day 2. And it's a hard question to ask, right? Because you have to tweak your list based on how many Rayleighs you think you're going to see. How many Zoros do you think you're going to see? Are you going to be playing the mirror a lot? How are you going to win those mirrors? Like, which cards do I need to bring in my 50 that will give me the best shot at having a 50-50 even playing field or being slightly favored into everything that I expect to see that day? And things can go very, very wrong for you.
Yeah, it's true. I guess, okay, so maybe we should start there. What do you think will be the most popular deck at Nats?
At Nats, the most popular deck, I think, is going to be...
Even LCQ, too.
LCQ, I don't know. LCQ is very hard to say because it's effectively a regional.
Yeah.
Just a regular offline regional. I think Zoro and UP will be very popular. But when it comes to the Nats main event, I think UP and Rayleigh are going to be, and Bonnie are going to be very popular. I think you're going to see a lot less Zoro for sure. Blackbeard is also another deck that I kind of want to give a shout out to that I've been seeing more and more lately, especially with the resurgence of UP. Blackbeard is quite well into UP with the full control build, and is only really scared of GP, and GP is not really all that prevalent right now.
He's been bullied off the playground a little bit. Yeah.
But I also want to loop back and think about GP with the prevalence of UP, with some more Blackbeards coming out. GP is starting to look quite good. You might have an incredible run on GP at Nationals, but it is very risky. You're going to have to circumnavigate the green matchups and the Rayleigh matchup.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, in terms of the Yomi layers, right? It makes so much sense. Oh yeah, right now UP might be the most popular deck, and Blackbeard's coming back out in force because if their main matchups are to deal with Bonnie and UP, they can be pretty good into those decks. GP looks awesome, and you bring GP to Nationals, and then you play Rayleigh, Zoro, and then you just look like the biggest idiot in the room.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I think that is scary to commit to GP into a meta that, like, you have to gamble on. Did it really shift that much?
Yep.
And that's a scary game to play, I think. But yeah, on paper, dude, doesn't GP sound awesome?
Yeah, on paper, GP does sound quite good, but yeah, like you said, it really just depends on what brand of Magic 8-Ball you bought from Target, right? You know, some of them outlook not so good. Some of them, you're winning the lottery. Powerball, you're winning the lottery. So we'll see. We'll have to see. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to be the most popular?
I think, from what I'm seeing right now, UP by a landslide.
I think so too, because a lot of top players are adopting UP. But you have to think about this, right? Think about the top player influence on the meta. Oh, Jackson is playing UP. Jonas is playing UP. Kristoff is playing UP. A lot of people are playing UP. What if there's a One Piece Illuminati and they're all pushing the UP narrative? They're all bringing GP. They're all bringing GP.
I mean, that's awesome if they do that, right? That would be so sick. So here's the reason why I think UP is going to be really popular is because I think prior to UP's resurgence, I think a lot of people were struggling to circumnavigate this jungle meta. I think a lot of people were without a home, and everyone's trying a lot of different decks, Zoro, Rayleigh, whatever, and like nothing really clicked. And I think a lot of people were searching from the perspective of UP, because like in OP11, UP was also the most popular deck, if I remember correctly. I don't know why.
By a long shot, I think.
And so a lot of those players, with the advent of bans, they were searching for new homes, right? They're homeless. They've been evicted. They got to find a new home. And then when they realized that, oh, the home that they were evicted from suddenly is looking for, renters again.
Yeah.
They come crawling back, right?
What's funny is you and I, we lost our home, but we squatted the shit out of that. We squatted the shit out of that apartment. We did not leave.
We were like, you take this over my dead body. Yeah.
We did not leave.
I know my rights.
My posters are still on the wall.
My credit score, ass now. But I got a place to live in. Yeah. I think like in our case, like we really believed in the deck even despite the bans. And but I think for a lot of people, their immediate reaction was, oh, dude, I got to figure something else out. So I think a lot of those people are going to come back to UP. So I think in some ways it's like,
we call them fake fans.
Yeah, fake fans. You're a performative. The P and UP
is performative. Yeah. You're blue and performative.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It is what it is, brother.
I'm sorry, man. Like if I go to Nats and I see a UP player reading a women's rights book and have
matcha latte,
oat milk matcha latte,
I know what you are.
I know what you. I know that you went to Zoro.
Yeah.
I know you went to Zoro. OP12.
I'll look you up. on Limitless. What did you top with? Zoro. And now you're playing UP. Performative. Not a real fan of UP.
Yeah.
Keep crawling back.
What do performative males listen to? Like, what is the stereotypical, like, if they have headphones on, like, what are they listening to?
Is it not just like Keshi?
Is it actually?
I don't know. I'm just thinking because, like, okay, so the performative male, what is their look? They're like the I'm gonna call myself out. Like circle glasses. They've got like a sweater on with their little oat milk. They probably have some accessories on, some rings.
Yeah, there's like very reasonably dressed,
Yeah.
like well dressed, well groomed, kind of hipster looking.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
some facial
hipstery.
hair,
So maybe that.
some
Oh,
WFH,
maybe some. What is WFH?
white facial hair.
White. Yeah, white facial hair. They could be. Maybe they're listening to some like The Weeknd. You know that kind of vibe. You know.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter. They only like it though because there's like a woman in their life that likes it. You know.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like so what is the popular artist amongst women nowadays?
I feel like
Is there one? Like specifically women are like, "Oh, I really love this artist."
my
Because they serve the C word.
I think, dude, I feel like oh God, what's her name?
Taylor Swift.
No, well, she's like, if you're from the Midwest, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
But I
Is
was
she
thinking,
from the Midwest, Taylor Swift?
no, she's from Tennessee, but
Oh.
she like I feel like that's the vibe for Taylor Swift. But I was thinking just like women globally who aren't just like in that doctrine, it would be like Chapel Rowan.
Okay, I've heard that name. I don't know what they do.
She does like Pink Pony Club. Pink Pony Club.
Never heard that song in my life.
You've never heard that song?
No.
Da, 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 da.
I just found out about Espresso.
You know, the song's a banger.
I
It
have
gets stuck-
not.
and now that I've hummed it, it'll get stuck in my head now. Pink Pony Club.
What is that about?
So she's talking about. So like her whole thing is like about her lesbianism and like
Oh,
and
that's
so
fire.
and so she's like, yeah, I danced at this club in West Hollywood where all the people like me were. So she's like singing about how like I'm like you know, my parents might not have approved, but this is where I belong. This is where my people are, and that sort of thing. Like
So that is the male.
performative, yeah,
Performative
because
artist, right?
he goes and listens to it. He goes, lesbians.
Yeah, I love
Fist in the air.
lesbians. Yeah,
I love
I love
lesbians.
lesbians.
He's got a-
I'm a lesbian myself,
he's got a-
actually.
I heart lesbians.
Yeah, yeah.
With a big
With green matcha stains all over it.
yeah.
He is distressed.
That is probably the most performative you can be. Yeah, I think actually we nailed it. I think Chapel Rowan is the answer. That has got to be the performative male top one on their Spotify Wrapped. Number one artist, Chapel Rowan.
Feminist book. Headphones listening to, or like earbuds listening to Chapel Roan, but not AirPods. They're the ones with
big-
No,
oh.
no. They're the ones with the cord.
Yeah, I prefer the sound of wired.
Yeah, it's the cord.
You can really hear the electrodes.
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit more tactile. So there's that. Oat milk matcha latte.
Cream colored sweater.
It's a good one. A lot of accessories.
A lot of accessories.
A lot of accessories, but not silver colored. They're gold accessories.
gold?
They're
Gold?
gold accessories.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did we miss anything?
Sharp, just like finely toothed beard. You know.
Okay, yeah. Some WFH.
Yeah. WFH, but probably brown or something.
Just FH.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what else they got?
Yeah.
They flip over their leader, UP Luffy.
Yeah, you knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Ugh, these guys, dude.
Us, man, we never left. We've never left that apartment.
Yeah, their playmat just says "I heart lesbians." It's so crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, we got it.
We got there.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
No idea. Now I just have Pink Pony Club stuck in my head. It's really evil of you because that song it takes like 2 business days to get out of my head. Okay, so we were talking about all the people who flock into UP. So UP, I think, will be the most popular.
Do you think it's the best pick?
I'm unsure. That's
Okay.
that's the thing that I'm really, really unsure because I think a couple of the assumptions people made about UP, I think, are fake news. There
Talk
have been,
to me.
there have been a lot of people who say like, oh, I think Zoro beats UP. I think Rayleigh beats UP. I feel like, in some ways, this deck, no different than GP in that regard. And I just think they don't know what they're talking about because in my experience, I'm not going to say those matchups are easy, but you're going to say they're straight up winning? I don't know, sir.
Yeah, I don't
know.
think so.
And
it may be slight favored in those particular matchups, but to say that, man, you just lose to X decks, I think that is that's poop from a butt.
UP specifically is like this amorphous, like chameleon. Its 50 is so flexible. And like what top end you play, Rosinante versus no Rosinante, your tech slots, you have infinite tech slots in that deck. Like truly, like the core deck is like 22 cards. It's like the 4 Sanjis and then your 18 card RAM package. Like okay, sure, boom, you've locked that in. But the rest of the deck can be like anything.
Yeah.
And so you can hard tech for any matchup that you want. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if necessarily UP is the best deck to bring because I don't know what that 50 should look like. Like it really depends on like what you think other people will bring. Like if you're right and you created the 50 for the matches you play, you're going to look like a genius because like, oh, I brought in all my 9-cost Luffy's for the mirror. I brought in Rosinante for Bonnie. I brought in Hell's Judgment for Zoro. I brought Whitesnake in for... You can't fit all those cards in.
It's hard.
So, you're going to have to make some intelligent choices in those card picks. And so to talk to the people on the streets, you just don't know what 50 you're going to be playing into. And depending on their list, like anything could happen. Truly. I think UP is one of those decks that like, if they're teched for the matchup they play against, you're going to be uphill no matter what because of the way the deck is.
But that being said, I think that's a very valid reason and just very apt. And I think I'm just going to make the call here. I think UP is the best deck to bring to Nats. You do have to figure out how you're going to tech the deck, what matchups you want to be prepared for. But the fact that it is a chameleon, it can change into every single color, and you just it has quite possibly the best matchup spread, I think, overall.
Yeah, it's like you're not super hard losing to anything in my opinion, and you have very strong winning matchups into anything that rogue players bring. Like I really think like some guys like I'm gonna bring Kuzan. You play it to UP and you're like, it doesn't matter the flavor of UP. That's a tough matchup for you. Same thing with like a lot of the other sort of fringe decks. You're just like, oh man, UP is like like Shanks or something. Like you do not want to see UP.
Nope.
Any version of UP is bad for you. So, yeah, I think UP is really well positioned. I have other decks I want to talk about that I've been really surprised by. One is Enel.
Yeah,
was something that I was really surprised by.
Because at first, we had all thought that Enel was
DOA, dead on arrival.
Yeah, poop from a butt.
Yeah, poop from a butt. As opposed to what?
Discharge.
Understood. Enel, especially the builds that were like the, I think the Latin America regionals had sort of this build that was against the grain of like I think what a lot of Enel players were bringing, this sort of aggressive angle to the. That was a crazy sound. That was my glasses hitting the microphone.
Yeah, went.
I got stun locked.
Yeah,
I was like, what was that? That was the aggro Enel speaking within me. That deck has way more legs than I thought. It's like your leader ability already makes certain deck matchups kind of bad into you, right? Like it's just hard for decks like Rayleigh to win against you. It's hard for decks like Zoro to just naturally win against you, just because you need X amount of swings to finally win against an Enel. And the most surprising thing that I thought was its matchup into blue purple. I think Bonnie is still going to be a very uphill battle, but I think UP. I thought on paper UP smashes that deck, and having played into it a couple times now, it was still UP favored.
I think it's UP favored, but not by a lot.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, well, if you're hedging your bets on Zoro, Rayleigh, UP as like the top three, and we're gonna put Bonnie aside a little bit
Mhm.
here, and you're just like, maybe I can dodge the Bonnies, which maybe I don't think Bonnie will be the most popular deck, but maybe Enel has legs then, So I think maybe there's other decks that I'm not thinking of, Like, I think with the changed landscape, I do think maybe somebody out there is going to cook something up that could be just generally good. I don't know.
I mean, there are plenty of generally good decks, like you mentioned, Kuzan, Enel. What else is there? Lucci, Sakazuki.
Yeah.
Like, can see success, right? Shanks. Like, these are decks that can see success with the right bracket. But if we're talking about, if we're answering the question, we're coming to you guys on the streets with a megaphone, and we're preaching the good word of what to bring to Nats. UP is my top pick.
Yeah.
After that, I'm going to say it's Bonnie.
I think Bonnie is great.
I think Bonnie is super well positioned right now. Bonnie is generically quite a powerful deck with a great matchup spread. Doesn't really lose to anything. And behind that, Rayleigh.
Yeah.
I think Rayleigh has a really high skill ceiling. If you are not a Rayleigh player right now and you decide to pick up the deck a few days before Nationals, I advise against it. Stick with what you're playing with. But if you're a Rayleigh player with enough reps on the deck, I think it is a great pick to bring to Nationals.
Yeah, I think so. To deep dive into Bonnie, to go one at a time here. Bonnie is, like you said, a deck that I think a lot of people dread playing into, which usually means good things for you.
Yeah.
Like compared to UP Luffy, where like I think some of these matchups like Rayleigh and Zoro are like can be uphill. Bonnie is one where you're like, oh, I want to see these decks. And I think that's very powerful, especially in context of Nats. Like, I think, at the end of the day, we play a card game. So sometimes I don't want to be playing that many 50-50 matchups, right? And having a deck that, like, straight up wins certain matchups is a great thing. And so Bonnie, very well positioned at the moment. Now, my only question is, if UP rises to the top, do we still think Bonnie? Would you still put Bonnie as number 2?
I would. I don't think that matchup is that bad for Bonnie. I think it's slight UP favored, but just like we mentioned, it's slight. Like, it's certainly losable. It's very losable. If they see the right cards at the right time, it's hard for UP to deal with. And UP is notorious for like not finding your big bodies right when you need to find them as well. And I think Bonnie, naturally as a leader, with her leader ability, deals with Sanji body quite well. In order for you to succeed as UP into Bonnie, you need Sanji body and another body or another Sanji. So you need like 3 big bodies because one is just not enough, especially with the introduction of Mihawk.
Yeah, it's crazy. Bonnie. So I think Bonnie's tools to success against UP is the KO protection, like not getting got there, that your Cavendishes and that sort of thing is protected. But then on top of that, it's like if you establish Mihawk, if they swing with leader and your 9-drop and let's say an 8-cost Luffy and it gets stunned by Dofi, like it gets really hairy, right? Because then you really only have max one more swing after that, and then it gets blocked by Mihawk, and then you're like, well, god damn it, like how do I get through this?
And then another Dofi comes down.
And then another Dofi comes down.
Yeah, so like that matchup isn't free by any means.
I think Rosinante helps a lot, but again, deck slots are tight, and UPs have to decide like how heavy am I going to tech for this particular matchup.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a little spicy. So I think I would agree. Bonnie might be number 2. I think my number 2 would actually be Rayleigh.
Sure.
I think it just slightly edges Bonnie, just in the fact that like I think compared to Bonnie, you are even if not winning into UP, which I think is like very important. I have a hard time understanding like. Obviously, we have the sim stats, and the sim stats show that Rayleigh is winning that matchup a lot. But in practice, I feel like it's quite a bit closer. And then on top of that, it depends on the deck list that UP is running. And then on top of that, it's hard for me to know when I'm playing my friend's Rayleigh or I'm testing with myself, which is vast majority of my testing. Like, the games always feel very lopsided in that matchup where, like, Rayleigh pops off, UP dies. UP has the counter, Rayleigh dies. So it's kind of hard for me to gauge like exactly who's winning the vast majority of the games. So I think it's quite close. But I like I would like to play a deck that's good into UP. If that would be my like thought process going into Nats is like I feel like UP is going to be the most popular deck in the room. How you going to beat it?
Yep.
So yeah, so that's why I like Rayleigh.
Okay.
And then of course that leaves Zoro, right? Zoro as maybe our number 4.
Zoro, man, might not even make it to my number 4.
Really, you think GP over number 4 or?
There might be a hot take. I think GP at number 4.
GP at number 4. Okay.
I think GP at number 4 just because I think it's a deck where you can really shine as a pilot. If you really know how to navigate GP, not to mention the UP matchup is good for you. If you can figure out the Rayleigh matchup and the Bonnie matchup, which are not necessarily, they're losing matchups for you, but they're not unwinnable. If you can tech for those, or if you can figure out ways to win in that particular matchup and edge out percentage points where you can, I think that deck is really, really well positioned.
Yeah,
so I put GP at 4. Sometimes,
GP at 4.
The reason why Zoro is not 4 for me is because I think the deck is generically powerful, but man, sometimes you just die.
That's true.
You just don't got it.
I think though, if I was gonna bring a Zoro 50 to Nats, it would be Omega tanky. I am playing the long game on Zoro.
Okay.
I'm countering the first 5. I'm countering the second 6. I think a lot of Zoros before were running very greedy lists. Like I saw the list, and one of the lists I tested was the guy that won. I forgot which tournament it was. He got first in something, and I looked at that list, and it's running very few 2Ks. I think like 10 2Ks or something. A lot of events, a lot of bricks, and playing that deck more. It was clever. I really liked Yukimaru as like a tech option and stuff like that. Mr. E Honda on the sticks. But I think the more I see and play out Zoro games, the more I just value the raw power of the good old 2K.
Yeah.
The old 2K just
That's Old Faithful.
Is Old Faithful. And especially with UP coming back, UP is a deck that naturally just 2K checks you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to run out of 2Ks.
Nope.
So I think more decks will run like upwards of 14 2Ks, maybe up your zero cost events. You're going to run a much tankier build, and you're just going to win more games by grinding people out, and then you get to a board state where you can just freely go 15-15 lead, or 12-12 lead, 12-12 lead, and even UP can struggle to counter all that for that long. So,
yeah, totally.
I don't know. I still believe in Zoro as a deck. I think the new technology that's out on the streets is the East Blue package, which gives you triple searchers. So now your deck is even more consistent than ever before. And
yeah, I have been seeing that actually. It's the Nami searcher.
Yes.
And you play like Arlongs or something.
I think the thing I've been hearing is maybe Arlong is fake.
Okay.
Just because it's only kind of great in the mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome in the mirror, but you only run it because there are so many East Blue slash guys. So
what does Nami search for?
Nami searches for East Blue.
What cards
Tashigis
are
East Blue.
Blue.
All your 2Ks are East Blue.
I see.
Yeah, Queena East Blue.
Ah.
So all your important pieces are East Blue. So she finds a lot. And
she costs 2 though, right?
She does cost 2. She does also have a trigger that also plays herself. And the important part about her is that she helps you combat the weenie spam of Rayleigh as well.
Ah, yeah, she can fight the weenies.
Yeah, she counterfights the weenies, which Hiyori cannot. She does not have hands.
Yeah,
Not equipped for
Perona
that.
does or does not.
Perona can. Perona can. But yeah, like it's much easier for Nami to get in there. So just having that triple searcher makes your game plan even more consistent than ever. So yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's interesting that people are continuing to develop that list. I think Electric Luna is just forever a powerful card, and having a searchable Luna is incredible.
Is it searchable? Oh, with the other searchers.
Yeah, with the Perona and Hiyori searchers.
Also, Electric Luna is an insane trigger.
Insane trigger, yeah.
That is a crazy trigger.
So, with all that said, I think Zoro still has legs. So, IMO, oh man, do I put it over GP? It's like so close, right? Like
just
all
like
5 of these
Bonnie
decks,
and Rayleigh
Yeah.
are close.
But I would probably put those two maybe under a little bit. It's so hard though. Really, really difficult. Because like I think people have understood now what Zoro does. You know, like it's been enough time that we have the technology to deal with him. People are teching in stuff like Slave Arrow and stuff like that. Black Vortex. The question is it enough? Like Zoro's kind of annoying because I think people would rather not have to play those tech cards, but because he exists, like he like softens the field for everybody else, you know. So yeah, because I think out of most of the decks in the format, like I think he's the most obvious to tech for, like in terms of like what cards tech well into him. So yeah, so I guess I would put him in that like 4 to 5 slot.
Okay.
And then yeah, dude, I've been impressed with Enel. So I would put him at 6.
I would swap Enel with Blackbeard.
Blackbeard. Blackbeard. What do you think of Blackbeard's place? Because I think like similar to GP a little bit, right?
A little
like,
bit. You're making a really bold call by bringing Blackbeard, but it could very well work out for you. I'm
like, I think Blackbeards have to be really creative deck building as well, because you want to be on the sort of Van Augur package.
For sure.
I think Van Augur, Seven Beard, all that stuff, that nonsense. Like having 2 Van Augurs and Seven Beard on board is
you
generally,
win the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like
the
Exodia.
game is over.
But then against some decks, you need to have stuff like Shiryu to help. But then also at the same time, maybe you also want Liberation because Rayleigh is like one of your toughest matchups. And then you want Black Vortex for Zoro, which is also a tough matchup. So it's like, man, can I dodge those 2 matchups and only play into UP Bonnie? Ooh, it's getting a little spicy.
The reason why I have Blackbeard so high up is because I think the top 2 decks are UP and Bonnie.
Yeah.
And Blackbeard is awesome into those 2 decks. UP is not free as Blackbeard, but if you are able to Augur, a 5 cost is quite hard for UP to deal with, especially if they want to pressure you. Spending 5 to God Thread your Augur, you're perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, you drew me a card.
Yeah, you drew me a card. I relieve pressure, and then you just go like Kuzan the following turn. Yeah, just bring it back. Like Kuzan, effective. You don't have to establish Van Augur when you don't want to. You just play Kuzan and leave it on the board, and you cannot interact with it as UP. Then that effectively means that that's just an Augur that's just waiting to go off. If you play Kuzan, I cannot deal with this. I have to go to your face and hopefully you die the following turn, because if you pop both of the Kuzans, you draw 2 cards, they turn into Augurs, you play a 7-beard, and everything dies.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. I feel like I need to revisit Blackbeard maybe again, because like you said, I do think it might have legs, right?
I think so.
I think like people have started to figure out the Zoro matchup a little more. I still think the Rayleigh matchup is incredibly hard. So if Rayleigh is like really, really popular, I think Blackbeard looks a lot worse.
Yeah.
But they're, again, Liberation does exist.
Yeah.
So
Shiryus are good.
Shiryus are very good in that matchup. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think Blackbeard deserves a shout too. Is there any other decks that you think are like on the cusp maybe of something that you would bring? Like, people are really excited about Blue Yellow Nami.
Blue Yellow Nami is decent. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if a or few Blue Yellow Namis did well, along with Blue Purple Sanji. I think those are decks that can do well. However, I don't expect them to be highly represented, nor do I expect their conversion rates to be very good.
Yeah. Have you played into them much? Like, what do you think about the decks in general?
I think,
like, especially because Blue Yellow Nami is finally almost at full power, right? Because now we've got the Odins, which didn't exist before.
Yeah, so I think Blue Yellow Nami is fine, especially when you're triggering Kikus out of life. But I think it is completely contingent on you seeing triggers out of your life. If you don't see the Kikus that are coming out of your life, and you have to hard play them, it becomes so difficult. Like, spending 4 to play a Kiku that gets bounced by an 8-cost Luffy, it feels so bad.
Feels really bad. Yeah.
But if I hit you, a Kiku comes out, I bounce it with my 8-cost, I swing at your face, another Kiku comes out, then that's a lot of pressure, especially with the Kumas that you can't interact with on the turn that they're played.
Yeah, because they turn into an 8 cost. They're out of Mihawk range.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very annoying.
Yeah. So it can go south for UP, and I think the deck is generically good. I just think that it's maybe compared to the other decks, the power level isn't quite there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because like on paper, I think the deck just seems okay.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if people would bring it. Like I know that its Rayleigh matchup is like one of the main
Really
reasons
good.
why you'd bring it. So, but at that point, like, why not bring Enel? Right? I think you'd have a better time into blue purple as well. Yeah, and then blue purple Sanji. What do you think about that deck?
Blue purple Sanji is a deck that we've seen succeed in the past. I think it has legs. It can do well, but I think you do need to see the right bracket, and you do need to high roll a little bit.
Yeah, I know the Zoro matchup I heard is like awful. I don't know about have you played it as blue purple Luffy?
I have a few times.
What is it like?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's completely fine.
They're a 4-life leader. Their source of pressure is just like a couple of large swings, which is like kind of what you're built for, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. I don't put too much stock into blue purple Sanji. I think the deck is really cool.
Yeah.
I think like just on the outside I like what the deck does, but I don't know if I would necessarily bring that to Nats.
No, I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't be like super surprised seeing a blue purple Sanji like make it like 1 or 2, make it to day 2. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Same thing with blue yellow Nami, Kuzan, Shanks. I think those decks are like have the potential to make it. But the majority of the pie charts, you're not going to see those decks. You're going to see UP, Bonnie, Green Zoro, Rayleigh, GP, maybe Blackbeard, maybe Enel.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I think we generally know what is going to be at Nats. What would you pick as the winner?
The winning deck. Is it first and second both get invitations?
I think it's first, second gets
first and second. So which 2 decks will get invited to Worlds? You know what would be really awesome to see is the Jackson 3-peat. That would be sick.
If he does it again, my God,
that would be sick. Who won the? So last year it was.
There was 2 Nats. So
I can't remember who won what.
I don't remember.
Jackson got in the second one, right? Because he like ended up. I remember there was a stint where he wasn't playing really at all,
and they just showed
and
up.
He just showed up
Nats.
and won. Yeah.
Okay, Jackson, and then there was Kyoto.
Oh, that's right.
The Reiju player. There was Cross, I think. He went to Worlds.
Yes.
And then I don't know who else was there. Was it
Chris
Jonas?
Sock.
Oh, was it Chris Sock?
Chris Sock.
Worlds?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I think it was those 4, right? It's just 4?
It might have been. Yeah, because there's only 2 Nats, right?
Yeah,
so it's 1 and 2. Yeah, so 4 players.
4 players to Worlds then, yeah. I mean, if any of those 4 make it again, it's very impressive. And but specifically Jackson.
Yeah, I'd love to see Jackson again.
Yeah. He would truly cement himself as the GOAT.
Yeah.
I think it'd be unquestioned. Like I know people put a lot of weight into like limitless points or whatever, but like nah, man. Jackson,
if you show up to Worlds 3 times in a row, you're the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says.
It's just unparalleled. Yeah.
Nobody else has done it. Who else has done it?
No one. I don't think.
Who's showed up twice?
I don't know the other players, like Japanese players. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who showed up? So I wouldn't know. But like,
I'm curious to see. Like, is Jackson the only person?
He might be.
Yeah.
He might be. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just like so absurd to. In general, right? It's like, okay, you top 64, you did pretty good, you know. But like, I think top players can reasonably expect to top 64 most. Maybe not most, but maybe like half their games, half their times that they go. Top 32. Let's just divide that into 2. Like maybe a quarter of the time you make it X2 and above. And then to top 16, top 8, like even less. It's not just half. It's probably like a quarter of that, right? So like, and then to get like top 2 at something is like super absurd. Like,
especially a stacked event.
Yeah, like a super stacked event, especially something like Nats. Like now you're talking less than 1% odds, in my opinion, for any players. So for him to have done that twice is just like lightning really does strike at the same place twice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious. Yeah.
Yeah. If I were to put my betting money on 2 decks that are in the finals, it would be UP and Rayleigh.
I think it's going to be Bonnie and Rayleigh.
Bonnie, Rayleigh? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is a hot take because I'm saying that UP is the best deck to bring to regionals. However, I think that the finals, I don't know, dude. My mind's eye is telling me that the finals, I can see the stream right now. I can see the top table 1. I can see the stream table.
Am I there?
No, because it's Bonnie and Rayleigh.
No, I'm bringing Bonnie.
I think it's Bonnie and Rayleigh, dude. Bonnie and Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a lot of UP in top 8.
Yeah.
Top 8, I think, is going to be half UP. Yeah.
Yeah, most represented, but not the ones who win it all. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I like that. Okay, future Dougie has spoken. So we'll see you guys in a week, and we'll see if we're right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. I hope we have the right read. We've generally been on
For the most part.
Yeah, we'll see. So, anyways, that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in Dallas if you guys are going. So come say hi if you're there. We'll be hanging out, playing our games. Hopefully win it all.
Yeah, we'll be playing our silly reindeer game, so don't be shy. Come say what's up. We like to chat with you guys.
Yeah, so. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Stay tuned for the Patreon episode if you are subscribed to the Patreon. So, all right, peace out, guys.